I'm happy that she came in and did. I'm sure she proved a lot of people wrong that thought, what a year. I never could have imagined last bucket of my rookie season would be a 3. But maybe God's saying give them a taste of what they'll be seeing more of in year 2, LOL.
Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese, who has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting.
The WNBA and the sports world have been rocked by Angel Reese's dismissal from the Chicago Sky due to drug charges. The scandal's scope has been difficult to overestimate for years. The WNBA has been gaining traction steadily, and women's basketball has been working hard to find its place in the larger sports scene. With the WNBA at a tipping point and stars like Caitlin Clark and Sabrina ECU drawing in more mainstream attention than ever before, the league was poised for a cultural breakthrough. However, in the midst of growing viewership and sponsorship deals, Reese's scandal threatens to undo that progress by linking one of the league's most recognizable names with cheating and unethical behavior. In particular, Clark has attracted new followers, increased television viewership, and captivated the public's interest. During a time when women's sports are struggling for equality and legitimacy, Reese's scandal represents that story. In addition to harming Reese's career, a doping scandal involving a well-known athlete poses a threat to the WNBA's credibility. In this instance, is representative of the challenges women's sports leagues encounter in their quest for more recognition. The WNBA has been fighting the idea that it is not as well-liked or competitive as its male counterparts. The timing couldn't be worse for a scandal like this, which provides naysayers with justification to minimize the league's advancement. The WNBA and other women's sports leagues have been gradually growing in popularity. Progress in the discussion of professional sports and gender equality. The ramifications of this scandal extend beyond Angel Reese's personal career. They also concern how the WNBA will handle this PR nightmare and keep evolving in the face of hardship. The future of women's basketball and how scandals may change the course of entire leagues are at the heart of this narrative, which goes beyond a single player. Angel Reese's journey from rising star to scandal-plagued player highlights the tremendous pressure that athletes face in today's fiercely competitive world. For Reese, the pressure was exacerbated by the expectation that she would compete against Caitlin Clark, a player who was shattering records and redefining what it meant to be a WNBA star. The comparisons between Reese and Clark were constant, and it's evident that they had an impact on Reese on a number of levels. Reese's path reveals a more significant problem in sports. When young athletes enter professional leagues, they are immediately thrust into the spotlight and expected to perform at their best during games, especially in women's sports, because of the crushing weight of expectations placed on them. This is especially true given the hype surrounding Reese. Like many young stars, Reese was always scrutinized, and media critics and even fans emphasized every mistake she made. Even the strongest athletes have been broken by this kind of pressure. Comparable difficulties have been observed in other sports, such as tennis stars like Naomi Osaka, who struggled with mental health issues, or gymnasts like Simone Biles, who put their mental health before competitiveness. For sportsmen like Reese, the pressure has only increased due to the emergence of social media. There is no way to avoid expectations or criticism. In the current era of sports, where athletes are also expected to be media, Reese's pressure was probably increased by the fact that, despite her strong performance, she was unable to match Caitlin Clark's explosive rise. Every missed shot and game that doesn't go as planned is discussed in real time on platforms like Twitter and Instagram. Astute and marketable, but failing to live up to expectations and being under continual public scrutiny might result in poor choices. One could see Reese's purported use of performance-enhancing drugs as a last-ditch effort to close the gap between her current situation and her perceived ideal state. Reese's inability to live up to the hype may have felt like a personal failure, which drove her to look for shortcuts that would ultimately ruin her career. The psychological toll of not living up to expectations is enormous, especially in a league like the WNBA, where individual stars can make or break entire franchises. The problem with performance-enhancing substances. For many years, PS in sports has cast a negative light on professional athletics, although it's frequently a topic more closely linked to male sports than female sports. This issue is brought to the forefront of women's sports in a way never seen in the WNBA before by Reese's alleged use of anabolic steroids and arthropo and EPO. It forces us to face the fact that female athletes are just as affected by the demands of professional sports as their male counterparts. The fact that Reese allegedly turned to a drug like EPO speaks volumes about her desperation to maintain an edge in a competitive environment where athleticism and endurance are increasingly important. The physical toll of a long WNBA season combined with the expectations to perform at the highest level every night may have led her to feel that this was the only way to compete. The use of anabolic steroids adds another layer of complexity. These substances are notorious for their ability to increase muscle mass and strength rapidly, which would have given Reese a physical advantage on the court, but they come with serious health risks. Mood swings, liver damage, cardiovascular issues, and long-term endocrine system repercussions. For a young athlete like Reese, using steroids could have seemed like a temporary solution, but the long-term implications might be disastrous. Scandals involving sports history have had a significant impact on entire leagues, as well as the sportsmen involved. Major League Baseball's steroid scandals in the 1990s and 2000s cast doubt on the legitimacy of entire seasons, and cycling, once a respected sport, became associated with doping following Lance Armstrong's decline. These sports have spent years repairing their reputations, and the WNBA may now have to deal with a similar situation following Reese's scandal. The league's reputation for upholding honesty and hard work and celebrating women's accomplishments is now marred by a stain that may take years to remove. For a coach who was once praised as a ray of success, Teresa Weatherspoon's involvement in this scandal represents a pivotal point in her coaching career. Known for her mentorship and leadership, Weatherspoon's reputation has suffered greatly as a result of her association with Angel Reese and the PED scandal. This is a devastating blowback. Whether or not Weatherspoon was directly involved in Reese's decisions, the perception of her complicity has left her career in limbo. Whether or not Spoon's possible encouragement of PED use, even if indirect, raises ethical concerns about coaching in high-pressure situations, where coaches are expected to be the moral and strategic leaders of their teams, guiding their players not only to success on the court but also to personal growth and development. If Weatherspoon did push Reese toward PEDs to save a struggling season, it represents a massive breach of trust, but more significantly, it implies that even coaches are subject to the pressures of professional sports to win at all costs, even if it means sacrificing their morals. In the past, coaching scandals have had a lasting effect on the individuals involved, as well as the teams they led in collegiate athletics. For instance, Weatherspoon's entire programs have been shut down or placed on probation due to scandals involving unethical player treatment or recruitment violations. Her legacy is now under jeopardy. She may have been a promising figure in the WNBA coaching ranks, but this scandal could ruin her career. Good coaches, especially those who were once players, have a special responsibility in helping their athletes grow because they have a first-hand understanding of the demands and difficulties of professional sports. Weatherspoon's failure to stop or worsen Reese's alleged encouragement of her PED use raises doubts about her capacity to help young athletes make the right decisions when the stakes are high. It serves as a sobering reminder that even the most esteemed figure can fail at times. In addition to ruining her career, the fallout from the Angel Reese scandal left the Chicago Sky franchise in ruins. After Reese and Teresa Weatherspoon were fired, the team now has to rebuild its roster and leadership structure from the ground up, which is no easy task for a franchise that was already having trouble on the court with a record that put them well out of the running for the playoffs. The trust between teammates, coaches, and management has also been destroyed. The chemistry of AD and professional sports team frequently determines whether a club succeeds or fails, and many players in the Chicago Sky locker room now feel deceived. Once regarded as the team's cornerstone and leader, Reese is now recognized as the cause of the group's disintegration. The scandal has caused the Sky front office to scramble to control the narrative and repair the team's public image sponsors, whose financial support is crucial to the team's success. The damage goes beyond the locker room, as teammates who depended on her leadership and performance are left wondering about their own roles and whether they can trust the organization going forward. May reconsider their alliances in front of the unfavorable publicity in a league that is still trying to establish its